You're all set. Go
Great.
ahead.
Hi everyone, how are you? Sorry I'm late. I just had to get logged onto the Wi-Fi here at my family's place. Um, but I am going to start screen sharing memo 2 once we call to order real quick. It looks like we have plenty of people. Try to keep this
Everybody.
as quickly
Yeah, everybody.
All of us. Yeah,
as
amazing.
possible. Everybody's here, which is awesome. Especially given Thanksgiving is tomorrow.
Get out of peeling potatoes.
I'll go around. Um, Myself, I'm here and can be heard. Meg,
Present.
Ken,
Present.
Raphael,
Here.
Andy,
Here.
Marcus,
Yeah.
Bernie,
Here.
and Erica.
Here.
Excellent. So we have everybody. We'll go on. Do we have minutes from the 13th?
Nope.
Okay, no problem. Do we have minutes from the 20th?
Oh, wait,
No.
when I was at
That
20th,
one.
sorry.
I'm the
Nope, that's okay.
13th, so no.
Okay, yep, no problem. Minute taker tonight is Marcus. Is that all right?
Sure.
Great. Move on to public comment. Please press *9 on a telephone or raise your hand on Zoom, and we'll give you some time to speak with us. No? Okay. Okay, so we will jump right in. Memo, we're starting at 4 since there's no edits on 3.
Are we,
Meg?
are we doing the updates from the outreach committee and the other committee?
Not on the agenda.
Oh, no, it's
Lost
not on the
track.
agenda. Okay.
No.
But we lost Julian. So when we get to things unexpected 48 hours before, I'd like to give a little update about outreach.
That makes sense.
Because shall I start doing it while we're waiting? No.
No.
Let's just wait.
Yeah, let's leave it till the end.
Could I just ask the committee to clarify, since I wasn't able to attend last time, how far we got in the votes?
An area there.
I think we're at Article 4.
Yeah.
We're starting at Article 4 tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to confirm.
Celtics, I hope aren't too loud in the background. Shall I ask? Do you hear the Celtics? Oh, good.
No. They're playing now?
Yeah, they're doing great against Detroit. They were ahead a few minutes ago.
I was hoping to watch that, but I guess not.
I could keep giving you updates.
Yeah.
Should we start? Or,
Yeah,
I don't
let's
know.
go ahead.
Yeah, I think we just keep plowing on.
Okay. Would you like me to share a screen or?
Please.
Hang on, I wasn't quite set up for this, but I'm trying. Everybody see that?
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Oh,
Nice
wait.
I'm going down.
Okay.
I'm going down to Article 4.
Okay. I mean, there was the memo that I think we were
Yeah,
going
there's a memo that's in the.
memo 2. It's charter change feedback from November 13th.
Yeah, hang on.
You're doing great for not expecting to do this.
Yeah.
it's further.
I had the documents open. They just weren't in a sort of shareable position, but here we are.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is the one, correct?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Sort of.
I'm going to scroll down to,
Page 5.
there we go.
good.
So we're having a conversation about Article 4. What I saw here was the memo does not necessarily, like in other articles, we had very specific numbered subsections that they responded to. In this case, they're responding to the topic,
Yeah.
like terms of office, which could apply to several things in the spreadsheet.
Yeah, we had it for Article 2, Article 4, and Article 7, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, there was the lengthen and stagger terms for elected offices that appears 3 times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so this comment is in response, this comment from Collins is in response to the idea of the length of terms. Andy, go ahead.
So it looks like they're basically saying that if we want to stagger terms, which I think was part of it, we would need to lengthen because we can't stagger 2-year terms. So it looks like we'd either have to go 3-year terms and have the election in the spring because we can't overlap with the state, or 4-year terms and we could have elections in the off years in the fall, and we could have half the candidates or half the positions be, elected 1 year and then 2 years later have the other half. Or with 3-year terms, I guess we could do every year we would have a third like we used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
So I don't know if, I kind of feel like we ought to make some sort of recommendation.
Mhm.
Right. I mean, we could either say we recommend either 3-year terms in the spring or 4-year terms in the fall, or we don't recommend anything, or we pick one. I don't know, or we say or we punt it to them. But I'm not sure that's the greatest thing either.
Well, they made it very clear they don't want things punted to them.
Yeah.
Marcus?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think we need to come up with a recommendation of one or the other, or none. The big push for the fall elections, if I remember correctly, was just the fear of lack of turnout in the spring, right? So that really kind of pushes us more to the 4-year terms. But then that's quite a commitment on the part of someone to say, I will be in this position for 4 years or more years. I mean, most of the people have been there for at least 4 years anyway. So I think it's, the outcome is probably the same. It's just, I think that initial upfront commitment that may be off-putting.
Would you like me to keep sharing since you're having connection trouble, or do you want to take it back?
Nope, I'm all set. Thank you so much, Erica. I apologize. My connection's spotty. As you can tell, I'm in a new place. So I'll take it over. If I slip back off, you can jump back in, but I appreciate it. Did we do outreach subcommittee feedback, or?
We're going to do that at the end.
Perfect. That's excellent. And I believe that is all. Meg, go ahead.
I feel that the concern about not having elections in the spring because there's low turnout, we should remember that, in my opinion, well, I don't have to give my opinion. We have elections in the fall on the off years because a majority of people on the Charter Commission felt that having elections when all the students vote would risk distorting the vote. So we actually have our council elections on the off years when it's the same as if it were in the spring. So I think being opposed to holding elections in the spring because there won't be good turnout is not a logical position. mean, I'm probably the only one, but I favor elections in the spring. And and largely because of the timing of when the new counselors would come into, the new council would be seated, which seems to me better if it's in May or June when the budget's further along and can't be disrupted the way it can now when people come into office in January.
Thank
But
you.
that's my opinion. I know it's a minority, but I think the argument that we want elections in November because there's better turnout, then why don't we hold them when everybody votes for president and Congress and Senate? If that's our goal.
Me personally, that is my goal. I think it would be great to have them at the same time when people vote for president and Senate and so on and so forth. That's just me. Ken, and I had one question. Andy, I saw your email. Did you want to discuss that at the end, or what are your thoughts?
I'll discuss it whenever you want. We just
Okay.
picked up where we left off last time, but we can talk
Excellent.
about it whenever. Yeah.
I'll work our way through this, and if we have time, I'll discuss that, followed by outreach and feedback subcommittee. Is that all right with everybody?
Sure.
Perfect. Ken?
Meg, I'm with you. So you're in the minority, but I'm with you in the minority for all the reasons that you just said. It's really just a choice. It's a choice between more turnout or less turnout. And I think the vote is legitimate either way. So I'm not concerned about the lower turnout. So I'm with Meg on the spring elections.
Bernie?
Yeah, I really don't know why they have to change. We've had some ample time to get used to having our elections when we have our elections, to having councilors run for 2-year terms, and that corresponds to not just the council manager governments in the Commonwealth, but the city governments in general, whether they're mayoral and form or council manager. So it's pretty standard, and I'm not sure why we need to change it, for one. For two, I would be anxious about having a new council come in April or May prior to voting the budget and having the old council be present for all the discussions of it and all the critiques and back and forth, and then have the newbie show up at the last minute. As it stands, I believe the manager does training with new counselors so that when they're coming in January, they've already got some background in the budget and the process and know what's going on. That's part of the time lag there that I think it has been objected to, but that time lag allows for that. So I'd be concerned about it. I'm not. The evidence I saw back when we were debating this is that fall elections have greater turnout than spring. Spring elections are sort of like inside baseball. If you were one of the elect or one of the elites, you knew about them and you voted. So I don't know that we're going to have. And again, I can't predict whether we have more turnout or less turnout if we move them to the spring. But I do have concerns about having a budget document prepared, discussed, debated, and then having the final vote land in the laps of new people who haven't been through that process of discussion and debate. And again, I don't know why, the November elections in 2-year terms. What I think the exception of the city of Chicopee is pretty much the rule for the mayoral communities. And it looks like it's pretty much the rule for or almost the rule for the council manager committees. I wasn't aware that Bridgewater and Palmer, Southbridge had spring elections. My familiarity was with East Longmeadow for a variety of reasons. So there you have it. That's my 2 cents. I don't think we need to change.
Thank you. Andy, and then Marcus. Then I have a question slash comment.
Yeah, I mean, this was a discussion that we had on the Charter Commission, and it was sort of for the reasons that I think Marcus stated. It's 3-year terms is what we had, that it allows for staggering, but the turnout has been higher since we went to the fall than it was back when we had elections in the spring. I think we were around 10% when we had elections in the spring. It's been like 25% in the fall, I think. But the drawback of the drawback of having 3-year terms is that you're going to probably get a lower turnout. And as Bernie said, you're bringing in new people to vote on the budget, right? Who haven't been involved in it before. 4-year terms, it's a big lift, and we might not have as many candidates willing to sign up for a 4-year term, and certainly then to renew for another 4-year term that's a heavy lift. So it almost feels to me like what we have is the worst solution except for all the others.
Right.
As Winston Churchill said about
Right,
democracy.
right, exactly what I was just going to say.
Right. Yeah, Marcus.
Yeah, I mean, Andy beat me to it. I would really kind of say, the concern that was raised was, that everybody gets voted on every 2 years, and there was a thought about, well, what about staggering? But as we see, staggering comes with its own problems. A lot of it due to, you'd say, well, why can't you do 3-year terms in the fall? But that's a state issue. So I'm just going to have to deal with that. But yeah, I'm kind of in the opinion that we just have to take the rough with the smooth, and 2-year terms is a little easier pill for people to swallow when they want to sign up to become a councillor. But it does lead to a lot of churn every 2 years. So,
Bernie.
It's actually a pretty standard, particularly among smaller communities, and Amherst counts as a smaller community, to have contests when there's no incumbent. And so having the 2-year terms, and I frankly haven't gone back and looked at Amherst elections to see if this is true or not, but I would guess that we get more candidates and more turnout in those times when people have said, I'm not going to run again. And the 2-year terms give people the opportunity to bow in and out more quickly, which I think is fine. I mean, it also works for the legislature. So that's the 2-year term is pretty standard. And God forbid that we should be standard, but it is.
Yeah, I was just going to say that ideally, I think, in my personal opinion, the best outcome would be having our town elections on the same cycle as state and federal elections. However, the state does not allow that. So I am on the Charter Review Committee. I'm not a state legislature. If I was, I would try to change it because I think it's ridiculous personally. But that is not where I sit. And I am, I think, in the position where we've made do with the best we can doing the 2-year terms. There are other options, but I think that the 2-year terms with the limits the state has set on us is the best we can do, especially given that we're a smaller town.
Do you want a motion?
Sure, go right ahead. That will help.
I guess I would move that we stick with what we've got. It's a very
I'll
technical
second.
motion, but yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, Bernie made, Andy seconded. I'll move us right along to voting. I'll start with Erica.
Yes.
Okay. Bernie?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Raphael?
Yes.
Marcus?
yes.
Meg?
No,
Ken?
No.
And I'm a yes. So that passes with 2 opposed. So we will now move on from term limits, I believe,
2 term limits.
to term limits again. Yes, correct. Thank you. From terms to term limits. So here are the term limits. This is a few different options that they've provided us for elected officials. We have not currently recommended the recall process. I think that might be worth noting. So I'll take comments and then a motion. Any comments? Not seeing any comments.
Well, let me see. Am I on the right page here? Because I'm looking at the large screen term
Yep.
limits. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it.
Term limits.
I got it.
Yep,
I
that's
got it.
right. Andy?
I got it.
Yeah, I was trying to hang back, but
That's
since
okay.
nobody else is talking,
Mhm.
as I recall, we had suggestions of term limits for elected officials in general, and then we also had recommendations for term limits for the president and vice president of the council. So I don't know if we can consider both of those, or is that something else?
I think we should consider both of those. I guess I'll break it into 2 just for purposes of discussion here. We'll discuss term limits for counselors, take a vote on that, and then term limits for president and vice president. I'll say we'll start with counselors. Any comments before? Does anyone want to make a motion? Bernie?
I'm not in favor of term limits. Those term limits are called elections, and I think we're better off focusing on making it easier for folks to run for office than we are to arbitrarily cap the amount of time someone can spend on the council. There's also much to be said for there's also much to be said for experience, which everybody seems to play down these days. But the other thing is I don't think we've seen in our brief period here with the charter. I don't think we've seen I think we've seen good turnover. It's not the kind of position that you're going to want a lifetime tenure in. It's tough work and it's local work, and I think we've seen some reasonable turnover, and people have not been. We don't have anybody who's. We'll know in the next time of the charter review whether or not we have any people who are stuck around for an unreasonable amount of time. But for now, I would move that we not recommend term limits for elected officials.
Great. Is there a second on that? I'll second
I'll
it.
second.
Wait,
Okay, great.
I have my hand up.
Meg,
Yep.
go ahead.
So I'm with Bernie on this. I'm an old-fashioned democracy advocate and think voters should have the most choices possible, that we shouldn't create rules to limit the choices for voters. I think we do need to do more to make it easy. All the things Bernie said, I won't repeat. But I'm agreeing with what he said.
Great.
We can make it easier for people to run, encourage them
Great.
over.
I'll call the vote if there's not any other comments.
Could you clarify which vote is which way?
Yes, absolutely. This is voting on term limits for counselors. And
Like-
if you vote to
Yeah, go
Bernie's
ahead.
motion, he said to not recommend term limits. So a yes vote would be to not recommend any term limits. A no vote would be in favor of recommending term limits. It is sort of a yes-no situation. So I'll start, I guess, with myself. I am a yes. I am voting for no term limits. And this is, to be clear, just for counselors, not for president or vice president. Meg?
It's also for school committee and library trustees.
Yes, thank you.
All elected officials.
All elected officials.
Good edit. Thank you, Andy.
So if I have this right, I'm a yes for nothing,
Great.
for no
Yep.
term.
You got that right. Bernie,
I'm a yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
and Raphael.
yes.
Excellent. So now we will discuss term limits for council president and vice president only. So
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I was
We've
about to
lost
ask
our-
Julian.
Wait, he
Term limits
froze, but
for-
he's maybe still there. Oh, there he
There
is.
he is.
sorry,
You froze on us.
sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep,
Great.
We heard-
Ken, go ahead.
So you mentioned going to the council president. Do we see that on the screen right now? Is that
Nope.
included?
Sorry.
Is that in the memo?
I don't think
I
it's in the
don't
memo.
think
Oh,
it's in the
it's
okay.
not
memo.
in, it's not
I
in the
see.
memo.
They made
Okay.
general comments about term limits.
Yeah, it's not in the memo.
Okay.
I just wanted to break off the two because we've had a lot of discussion about both.
Got it. Okay.
Andy?
I actually think this one's a little different in terms of the dynamics. I think I think it could be useful to have some sort of requirement of, turnover in the presidency and the vice presidency. I think that with term limits for elected officials, there's elections every 2 years. With term limits for the president and vice president, they have an outsized role on the council, and there may be some concern about voting to unseat somebody who has some power to appoint and so on. So I don't know exactly what the recommendation would be for term limits, but I would think that something along the lines of, no more than 2 terms. I don't know, but I guess I would be open to whatever people are thinking. But
I'm
I'm cautiously supportive of the idea of some turnover there.
I was going to make a motion on this, but I'll let you, Ken, speak first.
Do we, so I apologize for not knowing this. Do we know what a term is for president or vice president? Is it the same as their council term?
Nope, it's 1 year.
Right now, it's 1 year. Yeah.
1 year.
I see. Okay.
And the
Thank you.
council votes every year to reorganize.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
And it should be it's important to note that the council can vote to reorganize at any time, so they do have that right. So,
Bernie, and then I'll make my motion. I just want to let people.
Oh, Erica's hand was up before mine.
Sorry, Erica, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think that we might want to consider making a separate motion on the yes or no on whether there should be term limits, and then the specifics of what those limits should be. If we vote yes, there should be term limits on those positions, then maybe we want to make a separate motion on what those should be, because we may have very different understanding of what we might mean by term limits. So we could just have a simple yes or no, should there be term limits on council president and vice president terms?
Bernie?
Well, the council's made up its own rules. It has some leeway in that, and I'm inclined to trust the councilors to say, either to put in their rules rather than in the charter what the limits might be on any member serving as president, vice president, or serving on committees. One of the first things I did the first time way back when I was elected selectman was move that we rotated the chairmanship of the board on an annual basis. The problem is that if you get somebody who's been the chair for a long, long time, they tend to think of it as my committee or my board. And that becomes problematic. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen any difficulty with the present arrangement. So I'm not inclined to change it. I'm inclined to say to the council, as a sort of a side recommendation, that there's been some concern about this, and that councilors, you should look at your rules and decide whether you want to come up with a reasonable limit for the number of years or terms a person can, years actually, a person can serve as council president, council vice president. And you may want to look at some kind of, some kind of process to make sure that that position gets rotated through the other members. But like I said, in this case, I'm inclined to trust the council to make a decision on who they want as their leadership. I don't think we need to impose a framework on them.
I'll follow Erica's suggestion. I move that we do indeed have term limits on council leadership before making the motion on what they be. Do I have a second?
Second.
Great. Seeing no other hands. Erica?
Erica.
Do you have a hand?
Yeah, Julian, do you not see when I raise my hand? Because
You're
Does
off
it not
camera,
show
so
up?
it doesn't come up the same way. That's
Okay.
correct.
I just had a comment. I totally get Bernie's point, and I also believe that the public has an interest in the freshening of that position, or in the opportunity to refresh that position. The counselors should have the most direct say in how they're organized and how they manage their business, but there's also a public interest to weigh, and that's why I think we might want to consider term limits. That was the case I was trying to make.
Great, thank you. Other comments? Okay, we'll move on with voting. I'm a yes. Andy,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
okay. Meg,
No,
Marcus,
Yes.
Raphael,
No.
Erica,
Yes.
Bernie,
No,
myself, I'm an I. So that passes just barely.
But let's-
Yep,
can we note the vote?
yes, the
That-
vote was
I mean, do we note that when things are unanimous versus close?
yes, the vote was 5 in favor, 3
Three.
opposed.
But I mean, do we put that in our report?
Yes.
Yes, sure,
Yeah,
that's fine.
Okay.
So
Um,
Julian, could I ask a question? I've been taking note of the motions
Yep.
tonight. I can't recall if we've approached this in this manner in the past. So do we have details about all of our votes? I think it's important to put it in the report, but I can't recall if we've approached this in this way. We voted, but have we tracked it?
we have not. No, is the answer. I was just sort of allowing Meg's one-time request to put this in. And assuming that by request, if someone else wanted a different vote put in, we could add it in. But
Okay.
But wait a minute. There's a
Yeah.
different question Raphael's asking. Are we tracking it? We are tracking it because we're doing a voice vote by name. But are we including it in the report is a different question. Like, are we including the different weights of the vote on each item is what you're asking, Raphael.
yes,
Am I
Yeah.
correct?
the
Yeah.
answer is no. Unless someone asks for it directly to be
Right.
So could I suggest that we record the votes that have more than one have 2 or more people in the minority?
moving forward. Yes.
all the votes have to be recorded. That's why you
Yeah.
do a roll call vote.
Oh, right.
So yeah, by name,
Yes.
people will. That should be part of the record. Whether you publish that in the final report or not, I'm agnostic about that. I think people need to know what the committee's proposed, and I think there is a degree of obligation on the part of each member of the committee that when this thing is done and we all sign off on it, that we're agreeing with it, and we're not gonna make an issue out of, well, I like this, but the rest of them didn't, so
Right.
that kind of thing. And I've seen it too frequently in local politics. So is this recorded? Yes, it's recorded in tape. It should be reflected in the minutes as to how people voted. And we can, as part of our look back on this, we can reconstruct this if we want to leave a more detailed history or a more organized history of what the committee did. Because all this stuff will be put in the public record somewhere for some poor student of local government in the future to mine it for detail.
Raphael and then Andy.
So my question was more about the now in our reporting. Should we include a record of these votes in our report? There are other reports that it is there, many others. So it's a point for us to consider as a collective.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to go back and reconstruct, check the transcripts or the videos to if we're not keeping track of the votes for each item, which might be a good idea. I don't know if we need to include them in the report, but I think we should have a record of all the votes. But if we haven't been keeping that, then we'd have to go back and reconstruct it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I agree we should have a record of all the votes. I think including them in the report, including every time someone disagrees in the report, to me, I struggle with that as an idea because I think we as a committee, although it's fine if people disagree, I think we want the report to come across as here is our report from the committee. And if there's a very close vote or an individual wants it included, that's okay. But I think putting every vote in every column that where someone disagrees will just increase the council's ability to sort of scrutinize us. Raphael?
Yeah, there is a record. But again, my question is more about, and it looks like there are two people here who say no. But my question is about whether or not, reconstruct or not, whether or not it's useful to have just a number in our report of yes, no. But we've heard from two. I don't know what other folks feel, how other folks feel.
Do you want to, is that a motion, Raphael?
No, it's just a discussion. I don't know where other folks are. We heard two people weigh in. I don't know how other folks feel about the inclusion.
Erica, go ahead. I just can't see your hand because of the platform, so feel free to shout.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe I'll just take the opportunity to make a motion so we can decide this. I would make a motion that we include the vote count in our final report, so that there's a sense of how great or how small the consensus was on given items.
Can you clarify your motion as to if you're asking for every vote or just the votes where someone is voting in the minority?
My motion at this time is on every vote.
Marcus?
Oh, sorry. Dropping my hand.
Is there a second?
Andy?
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
I'll second. Go ahead. Okay.
Andy?
I'm wondering if then if that means that we will only have vote counts in the final report, which would only include things that we approved. So it would be, this is approved unanimously, or this is approved 5-3, but the things that we chose not to approve, we would not have in our final report.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That is true.
Correct. And I would just ask one more point of clarification. Are you looking for this to go in the preliminary report or the final report?
He said final.
Final. Okay, great.
Or both.
What do you say?
My motion said final.
Okay,
so.
Thank you. I just want to be conscientious of time, and I understand. I think this is a good issue, a good question, but it's not on the agenda. We're trying to get through this document, so I just want to be conscientious of time, and I'm going to call the vote.
Could you clarify what yes and no is, please?
Yes is that we yes means that we would approve of Erica's motion and would add the votes, and no means we would not. I will start with myself. I'm a no. Andy.
Can I pass for now?
Yes. Bernie.
Yes.
Meg.
Yes.
Ken.
No.
Marcus.
No.
Raphael.
Yes.
Erica.
Yes.
And Andy.
Yes.
Okay. We have 5 in favor, 3 opposed. It will go in the final report. I am going to move us along with the time before taking office and the lame duck period.
Did
So,
we all talk about the length of term limits or not?
oh, thank you. Yes,
Yes.
length of term limits. Thank you, Andy. Good catch. So I did have a motion prepared on that, so I guess I'll just make it. My motion is that we enact term limits on the council president and vice president for 4 consecutive terms, which means 4 years, not 8 years, 4 years, because the council president and vice president are voted every year. A yes vote would approve, a no vote would not, and the only other thing that I would add to my motion is it is consecutive terms. So someone could take a break and go back to doing it if they wanted. Marcus?
Sorry. What was the rationale for 4? Not say like 5 or 3. Do you have some rationale for 4?
Yes. The reason I chose an even number is because it aligns with the election cycles. Meg?
As someone who voted against term limits, I'm wondering how to vote. I'm thinking abstain, but does that screw things up? If the
No,
3 of us who
you can vote
voted,
however you please.
okay. Just curious.
Yeah.
I don't want to screw,
Second
I want to
the
move
motion.
things along.
Thank you.
Someone seconded the motion?
Yes,
second.
Erica seconded. Thank you. I'll move us along with voting. I'll start with Andy.
Yes.
Bernie.
No.
Raphael.
No.
Marcus.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Erica.
Yes.
And Meg.
Abstain. Or no,
Okay.
either one, I don't care.
Yep. Okay. You said abstain first, so I'm counting that.
All right.
What, Meg?
That is another 5-3. Excuse me, 4-3 with 1 abstention.
Are you abstaining? Or is it a no?
Yeah, that does actually sort of matter. Meg.
Meg, are you?
I'll be abstain.
Okay. Thank you.
Like it's like I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, that's okay. Your vote's your vote.
Woo!
So now we will move along to
Just,
Erica has her
Julia,
hand up.
Before
Erica. Go ahead.
we completely move on, since we did vote yes on term limits, I just wanted to just query the group if there were any other motions about if it's about that number, or if we're just moving on. If it's about the number 4 that we just voted on, or if there's any other motions to be made.
Marcus?
I have no other motions. I think the number's fine. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. 4 is fine. 3 would be fine. It's long enough, but it's also short enough. So
I was just going to add that generally the folks who voted opposed were opposed originally, so it's not really an issue of the exact number. I will move along with time before taking office. So
I'm going to
Yes.
I'm going to move that we take no action on this. We do not change the time before taking office. We recommend no change in that. I think the Collins report gives you some pretty good ideas as to what can happen in that interim time. And, again, it's as they said, it's pretty standard for charter governments. I think it does provide an adequate amount of period for people to get some education, some information about what is confronting the town and what they'll have to do when they what they'll have to think about when they get onto the board. So I think the system we have right now is working. I'm not inclined to, at least with this, the terms before office, the way the offices are elected, the pacing of it, the time before office, and I'm not inclined to fix something that's working. So my motion is to.
I agree. Second.
Second.
Yeah.
Great. I'm just any comments. Andy?
I would just say, as somebody who's going through this now, that I'm glad that I have time to try to come up to speed on things.
Mm.
So I value this time.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move forward with voting. Marcus?
I don't want to do anything. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine.
No, I mean, as in my vote is positive.
Oh,
to
yes.
Bernie's motion.
Okay, thank you. Yes means you don't do anything. Bernie,
Yes.
Raphael,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Meg,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
myself, I'm an I. Andy?
Yes.
Great.
So that's unanimous. That's
Yes,
notable.
that's unanimous. On to
Well,
housing
I'm just
authority.
saying, never mind. Don't want to slow things down.
Onto the housing authority. I'm going to make the motion that we not include the suggestion and keep the current housing authority structure as the town structure.
Second.
Great. Any comments?
Just a quick comment that the suggestion originally was that the housing authority should go from partially elected to fully appointed. And so that's what you're saying should not happen. That's what your
Right.
motion is saying.
Yes.
It should stay as a partially elected, partially appointed body.
Andy?
I guess I've just noticed that housing authority sort of gets overlooked because of the fact that we're electing everybody at once. Housing authority tends to get overlooked a little bit. And in this case, we only had 2 candidates for 3 slots, and then we had 1 write-in candidate. And the housing authority has been kind of a sleepy, in my opinion, it hasn't been particularly active. So I guess the suggestion was that if it were appointed, you might get more people who have some interests, but don't want to run through don't want to run for office and go through the whole election business, and they might have some particular interest or expertise that might be helpful. So I don't know, it might be worth trying to get more activity in a focus on low income housing in town, and by getting a full slate of people that actually want to do it without running for election.
Bernie?
And my second was to facilitate discussion on this. I'm inclined to agree with Andy that moving these positions is done in most cities. Moving the positions to appointed would probably move things along. The other thing is, in the past, I don't know it's been current, but in the past, there's been real problems getting a gubernatorial appointment to the board. So if you, so the 3 elected members or 3 appointed members really have to carry the show, because we can't always count on the governor to come up with an appointment.
Marcus?
Marcus, you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I can't remember what I was going to say now, so I'm unmuted.
Fine. I hear what you're saying, Andy. I think you have a decent point. Does someone want to replace my motion?
Sorry, I do
Yeah.
remember what I was going to say. The fact that people aren't getting involved isn't really a problem of the charter, right? It's more of a problem of the town not engaging people in the fact that, hey, there's this actual body that people need to, apply for and get voted into. So, I think, we don't necessarily need to litigate it through the charter. It's more of a case of making it more widely known that this thing exists.
Right.
Other comments, questions? Andy?
Just noting that the memo does say that if we wanted to make this change, it would require a special act legislation or an elected charter commission to make this change. So, we could still recommend that the council pursue that, but it's that kind of change.
Other comments, questions? No. Okay, I'll call a vote.
Can you
So
restate
just
the motion?
clarify, yeah, thank
Sorry.
you, Erica.
Motion is to keep this the same. A yes vote would keep this the same, and no vote would be in favor of changing this to the city form of government.
Well,
Or an alternative.
Comments, questions before we vote? No. Okay. I'll start with Meg.
Yes. Yes means to keep it.
Yes. Ken.
Yes.
Erica.
Yes.
Bernie.
well, I guess I'm going to go with keep it. Yes.
Raphael.
Yes.
Andy.
No.
Great. So
Is that everybody? Erica?
Marcus.
Erica.
I did vote yes.
Okay.
Julian,
She
I don't know if
voted
you
yes.
voted.
Marcus needs to vote yeah.
Everybody voted, right? Yeah. So adding elected residents to planning board, zoning board, and finance committee. I understand that many people are going to disagree with what I'm about to do. However, I'm going to do it anyway. I move that we add 2 elected seats to the planning board, zoning board of appeals, and the finance committee. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you.
That was Meg.
Yep, gotcha. Any discussion?
I don't see how this can be accomplished without a new, even with special legislation.
Yeah.
Holding an election to have a member added to a committee. Well, first off, the planning board, to an appointing committee. I don't see that going anywhere in the legislature. I don't understand the reason for it. I'm gonna just vote no on this. I don't think we should consider it.
I guess I don't see any other comments. I'll move to voting. Myself, I'm an aye. Meg?
Yeah, I'm an aye, yes.
Yep. Ken?
Aye.
Bernie?
No.
Erica?
Yes.
Raphael?
No.
Andy?
No.
Okay. I believe that is 4-4.
No, Marcus.
No, Marcus,
Says
thank
no.
you.
Marcus says no.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. That's 5-3. So can I get a different motion for how
Wait, what, wasn't that 4-4?
If it's 4-4, it fails.
That's right.
Yep. Is it 4-4 or is it 5-3?
No, it's
since
5 to
Marcus
3.
added?
Yeah.
Could you just restate who voted?
Yes. Let's just go again. Myself, I'm an aye. Meg.
Aye.
Ken.
Aye.
Erica.
Yes.
That's 4.
That's 4. It's 4-4.
That's what I thought. Not
Okay.
that it matters. I just thought it was 4-4. That's why I
It is
asked to
4-4.
revote. Yep.
Um,
Thank you.
Yep. I guess the best we can do is note that this is a 4-4 vote and say the committee was split and leave it at that. So,
Erica's hand is up.
Erica?
Thank you. I just wanted to say that there may be situations, this is only one example, there may be others where even if the path to resolving a suggestion or correcting a problem with the charter is complicated or would be a heavy lift or even kind of legally challenging, part of what we're voting on or making motions to approve into our reporting is that our sense of the public desire for a particular change and whether we think it's a good idea. So it's not necessarily voting on it's too hard because it would require a special act, which may be true. But I just wanted to maybe separate that in our minds as we think through like when we're voting yes or no. You can put aside because it's for the council and other parties to pick it up after we submit a report, not for us to run the length with it.
That's a really good point. Thank you, Erica. Article 5.
So where are we with this decision?
My thought was that that's what I was just discussing, to basically have this noted to the council that I made that motion, that Meg seconded, and that we voted 4-4. I did speak with the council president about this in a meeting in probably July to ask what happens given that the 9th member resigned if we have a 4-4 vote, and she suggested put the first motion that was made on the table, have it noted that it's a 4-4 vote, and leave it at that to the town council. And I think I'm sticking with that advice. I think that is the right way to approach this. Andy?
I understand that, but I thought that if something's a tie vote, it fails, and we're only going to have things in the final report that passed.
Yeah.
Right, there've been a lot more tied votes that we've gone through and failed.
Have we had other tied votes with the
Thank you.
preliminary?
Oh,
I mean, in going through during the offsite as well, right? We had a lot of tied votes.
Maybe this is something worth including in the addendum, that this was a 4-4 vote and that the motion failed. However, it's something worth discussing and include in the addendum rather than the preliminary report.
Yeah, that's what I had my hand raised to say, is that maybe that's something we want to consider, is for absolutely tied votes only, to move those to an addendum, since they properly shouldn't be included in a consensus-based report.
I agree. I think that's an appropriate way to dispose of this.
So are folks here okay with it? I know Julian's pushing for it. Are you okay with this being in the addendum?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
I'm seeing everybody nodding. Great.
Great. All right.
Article 5. This is 5.5, referral to Finance Committee. I'm going to move that we adopt this language immediately following the first town council meeting after the receipt of the proposed budget. Do I have a second?
thank you.
Second.
Great. Andy?
I think that the issue here is that the charter right now says immediately upon upon the budget being produced by the manager, it will be forwarded to the finance committee. And the question was, does it need to go through the council first, or should it just automatically go to the finance committee? So I guess if we take their language, it would need to wait until the town council meets, and then they would forward it to the finance committee. Otherwise, we could clarify that it should just be sent immediately to both the town council and the finance committee, so the finance committee could start working on it. So I I don't know. I'm not sure if they understood the question, the suggestion, but I think it was basically they do say given the tight deadlines, uh, you know, consult about the potential timeline. So I don't know if there's any particular purpose to sending it first to the council and then waiting for them to meet and then having them send it to the finance committee.
I was
I think
I was
that's there's ambiguity in the charter, apparently.
I was just gonna add that I spoke with someone from the Tracy Novick from the Mass School Association of School Committees about this following a meeting that I attended, and she was explaining to me that the current wording may not actually be in alignment with state law 70. I think it's MGL 73, chapter 73. And she was explaining how basically it is supposed to be referred directly to the town council, not through the town manager or to the finance committee, that the town council should be having its first look at it to discuss these things before the committees and the manager discuss these things. That was her interpretation. I'm not saying it's correct interpretation, but I thought that it's worth noting that is an interpretation of the law, and I would want to add this language just to make sure we're completely in compliance with that. Bernie?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
The council hears the presentation on the budget and then refers it to the finance committee.
So that's
Okay,
that's the current language, Athena.
Is that current?
Yeah.
Right now, our current practice is that the town council, they hear the presentation on the budget and at that meeting refers it to the finance committee, and then the finance committee starts reviewing it. So it seems
They
that
do
you're
get
trying
it first. Okay.
The council gets it first. Yeah, they hear the presentation of the budget first.
That clarifies. Thank you, Athena.
Right. And I was just going to
Bernie?
say that in the manager's budget, as soon as it's signed and hits the photocopier, is a public document. So anybody can get it. It goes on the website and anybody can download it. So this is, it doesn't make any sense to me. And as Athena tells us, the manager makes the presentation to the council as a whole.
Yeah.
And the council refers.
Okay.
So this is meaningless. This whole piece here.
So I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I guess from the perspective of the clerk of the council, is the current language satisfactory for getting the council to see it and then the finance committee to get it?
And unless you want to delay the finance committee's review of the budget and after an additional council meeting, which I don't think
think
makes
that's
any
proposed, yeah.
sense.
Okay.
The way things are working now is it sounds like what you want. The council receives it first from the town manager. The town manager does a whole budget presentation, and the council votes to refer it to the finance committee, and then the finance committee sometimes begins their review immediately, but not until the council has heard the presentation, because the council has to refer it to the finance committee.
So this would just slow things down. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It
I
says
appreciate it.
following the first council
Yeah.
meeting after the receipt. So the council would have to receive the budget at one meeting and then couldn't refer it until the next meeting. I don't think that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Bernie?
having served on the finance committee, the system that we have now works very well. It's a lot of work to review the budget, so the sooner the finance committee can get their hands on it, the
Okay.
better.
Great. Do I have a replacement motion?
You could withdraw if you
Yeah, I'll withdraw.
if you don't support
Yeah.
your own motion
Yeah.
anymore.
No, that makes sense. Would anyone like to make a replacement?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to leave the language as is.
Great. I'll second. Any discussion? No. Okay. Bernie?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
I'm an I. Marcus?
Aye.
Meg?
Aye.
Ken?
Yes.
And Raphael.
Yes.
Great.
And Raphael's and yes as well.
Yeah.
Huh?
He got it.
Yeah. Everybody voted, I believe. Okay. So now we are discussing resident members, and this is changing the language from may to shall. I will move that we adopt the language here to change from may to shall. Do I have a second?
Second,
Great.
I guess.
Any comments? Any?
I would just note that what they say is the project team does not recommend this change because the current language provides flexibility to avoid delays in the budget process due to vacancies if there are insufficient numbers of volunteers or if residents resign during the process.
I'll just add that I personally support this just because of the amount of public support that this has gotten. We've heard from many people who would even like resident members to have a vote. We're not doing that, but we are at least codifying this, that they will exist. I think it's a good idea. It offers some community participation, and I think ensuring more community participation in the budget process is great. Plus, we get people like Bernie, who I don't always agree with, but I think has a lot of expertise, and bringing in more expertise is a good thing.
Erica had your hand up.
Yeah, just a quick clarifying question. I'm not clear on why Collins is suggesting here that the current language provides flexibility to avoid delays. How would including members of the public slow things down in this scenario?
Marcus?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it would be the searching for new members, right? So you can easily appoint an existing member of the government onto that very quickly. If you want to get a member of the public, there's a full-on search. So that's their concern about the delay.
Andy?
I actually don't really agree with their logic. I pointed it out because they said it, but I don't really understand it. I mean, I think the current practice is that we do include members of the public. I think saying shall instead of may just reinforces that we do include members of the public. And, you know, if we can't find enough, the process is still going to go on. But I mean, this basically just sort of enshrines the idea that the council can't decide not to include members of the public on the finance committee. So I think I'm a yes on this one.
Bernie?
I think the Collins Center caution is a real one, and I'm trying to recall because I've been on two different sets of finance committees. There's a real danger that you can have no individuals. People drop out, people can't be found. It takes forever to appoint someone. So there's a real possibility. How probable it is another discussion, but there's a real possibility that you wouldn't have a citizen member on the finance committee. And what happens if citizen members of the finance committee? Because there's been a time I'm like, I've been the citizen rep, or someone else has. And what happens if those citizen members don't show for the discussion? I think again, what we have is working, and I'm not inclined to fix it. This was a real stretch on the part of the town to have citizen members on the finance committee to begin with. I think it's unique to Amherst, and I think we should stay with what we have and the language that we have.
Marcus? You're muted.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Sorry, I pressed the raised hand button instead of the mute button.
No problem.
To Andy's point about the work will still go on, technically it can't, right? So if your charter says you shall have members of the public and they are not, they quit, whatever, they're not there, then you don't have a finance committee. So you cannot continue the work.
There are counselors on the finance committee. They have vacancies now. There's a vacancy now, and they are continuing their work. Their work won't stop if there are vacancies.
Right, but that's because we say may, right? We may include members. We don't have to.
No, it wouldn't.
It would.
It wouldn't change the way we do it at all right now. right now the finance committee charge includes resident members,
Right.
and there are vacancies that the council is taking its time to fill, or one vacancy. And
But there's still one, right? So I'm
there's
just
one
saying,
vacancy now, but
yeah,
it doesn't stop the work of the finance committee because the resident members, I don't think, count towards a quorum even.
I don't think
Yes,
so.
I've been counted as a quorum as part of the
Yeah.
quorum.
Have? Okay.
Yes,
my concern is by saying shall, you're actually dictating the composition of the committee. And if you are not up to that composition, you then become open to, legal,
No,
what's it?
no, I
Okay,
mean,
if you don't, that's
I'm not a
fine.
lawyer, but I disagree. I mean, you might have
Yeah,
a
that's
vacancy
fine.
on the school committee, and that doesn't mean the school committee can't function. There's a
No,
process
I
for filling the
understand
vacancy.
that, but it's the makeup of the committee that is being not is not being complied with, right?
But
So,
it doesn't
anyway.
mean they can't still meet. Like,
If you say that you shall include these
Well,
types of
the
people
charter
and one
also
of those
says
are not there,
The vote.
one group is not there. Sorry, go on.
the charter also says there shall be a 13-member town council, and if there are less than 13 because someone's resigned, the council still operates. There's just a vacancy
That's
that
true. Yeah.
that
Okay.
must be filled. So
Yeah.
I don't see this as being a problem.
Thank you.
Mhm.
thanks, Athena. Andy?
I think Erica had her hand up.
Just
Oh,
a quick
Erica, go
comment.
ahead.
If we're hearing that if in the specific language of the charter and in practice is not holding up the procedure of the committee, then I don't see a problem with changing the language to be slightly more forceful in the inclusion of members of the public. If that's all it is, there's nothing about shall not proceed without the presence of members of the public. It's just shall include. And the procedural things are all named elsewhere and don't seem to be a hang up for the activities of the committee.
Andy?
Yeah, I agree. There's no consequences stated here if they don't have it, and I think the reason for the person suggesting this is just to enshrine the idea that we're going to have members of the public. It's not up to the council to decide whether to have members of the public. It's up to them to find members of the public. And so if they try and are only partially successful, the goal is still that they shall have members of the public. And I don't know. I feel like we've heard a fair amount that people like that.
Meg?
I'll just point out that our committee was defined that we shall have 9 members, and we've been functioning just fine with 8.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Other comments before we vote on this?
No.
Okay. Myself, I'm an aye. Meg?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye means to vote the change for shall.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm an aye.
Andy?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Raphael?
Yes.
Bernie?
I'm convinced. I'm going to vote yes.
Great. And Erica?
Yes.
Excellent. New appropriation. This we asked them about, didn't we, Andy? I forgot what they said.
Information.
I mean, I think we looked at the language and it didn't really seem that unclear.
Yeah, so I think I'll make the motion that we make no changes here.
Second.
Great. And we'll move forward with voting. Myself, I'm an aye. Meg?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Marcus?
Aye.
Bernie?
Yes.
Raphael?
Yes.
And Erica?
Yes.
What about me?
Sorry. Thank you, Ken.
Yes.
Great.
Oh, no.
So it's unanimous, 7-0.
So,
One question, we got a memo about something in Article 5 from Collins. Didn't we? Did we get a memo? I feel like Pat sent us a memo about something.
Wasn't it about Boston's ability
Yes.
to add
Correct.
to add to an item and then reduce elsewhere?
Yes. I think I'm going to move forward with the rest of this since I'm already screen sharing this document, and
Yeah.
then I'll address that at the end. Is that appropriate for folks? Is that okay? Okay.
Sure.
Administrative organization.
I'm sorry, I didn't get to raise my
Go
hand
right
in
ahead.
time. I had a question about in the spreadsheet, item, I think it's item 34, in Article 5. Provide the council with the power to increase budget items. I don't think we got a comment from Collins on this one. Maybe, Andy, Julian, you could clarify whether
I
that
believe
came up
I
in
did. I'll
conversation.
screen share it.
Hmm?
I believe it was sent directly to me, and I'll screen share it.
I think, did you
Is
share
that
it?
the,
Was it in the packet last time, or I can't remember?
I think I did add it to the packet last time, but it wasn't sent to the entire committee. I think it was just sent to me. Maybe Andy was CC'd. And it was about the issue of allowing the council to have the power to add to the budget, as long as they are able to subtract the same amount from a different area or department. And I think it's a good idea, but I just don't have it open right now. So
that's
we'll
fine.
move
I just was noticing
forward.
it in the spreadsheet. We can bring it up later.
Yes, I'll bring it up at the end once we finish the spreadsheet. Okay, so Article 6.2. There was a suggestion to remove the 14-day posting requirement. What the 14-day posting requirement is it means that the town has to have a position posted for 14 days before they can officially hire someone. We heard from Bernie, you sent an email, and we heard from the town HR folks.
well, Melissa
From
Ludes,
Melissa.
yeah,
Thank
who I
you.
did point out also was an attorney in addition to doing everything else that all the other credentials she has.
Who said that this is all right and doesn't really cause them many issues. We have heard from other staff just saying that it's difficult to hire people competitively if another town without this requirement jumps in front of us, if that makes any sense. I will seek a motion for what folks want to do with this. I'm sort of agnostic. I can understand both arguments.
Can we get a clarification of what Melissa said, the HR director said?
Yes, Bernie?
Yeah, I'm looking for her. I sent the letter to you. I'm looking to pull it up
Take
here
your
in
time.
my.
Yep.
Let's see if I can find it.
Julian, if I may, while Brittany looks for that,
Go ahead.
one outcome of this provision in the charter has been that HR can't post vacancies internally before they are posted externally. So we can't consider internal candidates before it's open to the public like we could in the past.
Oh, huh. Interesting. And just a question on that, Athena. Don't like certain union contracts or groups of employees have like internal preference, or is that incorrect?
So if there were, and all the union contracts are a little bit different,
Yeah.
but if we were to lay off a position, then folks could bump into that position, but this posting requirement, I mean, I think it kind of muddies that process because we would still have to post the vacancy. And then
Okay.
if there was a series of bumping through positions based on seniority, then we'd have to, post a series of vacancies as that bumping went through. I don't think we've had to deal with that, and Melissa would definitely know better than I do, but
Okay.
thinking through that, it's a little bit cumbersome to say the
Yeah,
least.
that's
I'm
helpful,
not
Athena.
able to find that memo.
Okay. That's
Um,
okay.
Well, no, it's not, because I think what she had to say was pretty. She didn't find this requirement to be onerous. She didn't think it put the town at a disadvantage, and she said, in fact, it might actually be helpful. So her recommendation would be do nothing.
So,
Other
uh,
Andy?
so we got this suggestion from one of the counselors, and I guess I'm hearing Athena. It sounds like Athena's saying that there might be some problems, but I don't know what we do with a difference of opinion between the HR director and a council perspective. I don't know, Athena, if you have anything else you want to add.
I think the hiring process has been slow. From my perspective and my knowledge of our hiring practices is, limited to my role in the process. And the trouble often is with the council's approval of the town manager's hiring of department heads, because that has to happen with a certain number of days. And from what I recall, we have to make that public, and it goes through TSO for a recommendation to the council. So we have to make it public even more than 48 hours in advance of a council meeting. And so I think that sometimes candidates may or may not want to make their acceptance of a job offer public at the time that we have to make it public in accordance with our process. So that's a different section of the charter. That's
Wow.
the town council's approval of department head.
And I was just going to clarify, correct me if I'm wrong, Athena. I believe this translates through pretty much every level of employee, including like boards and committees and like that sort of thing. Is that correct?
Vacancies, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I was going to say, when I applied to be on Shade Tree Committee and when I applied for my summer job, this 14-day posting requirement made me be like, is the 2 weeks up or not? I didn't care personally. It was fine for me. But for someone who, like, I know some of my friends tried to apply for town jobs for the summer and they were too slow, basically. So they had like a 2-week window where they had to wait to be like a lifeguard or whatever.
Yeah, in my
It's
opinion,
fine, but
and my perspective is different from Melissa's, and that's fine. But in my opinion, it slows things down. I've hired
me-
staff before, and it's
Yeah,
slow.
let me read, because I did find I found
Okay.
actually my note to Julian, and I was hoping this would get posted, but this is her suggestion. She thinks a 2-week posting period is sufficient, but there should be, I'm going to quote directly, there should be a mechanism for exceptions to the rule, in my opinion, whereby the requirement can be waived by the town manager in certain circumstances. I would suggest those circumstances be where there is a vacancy, or the anticipated vacancy is in a position for which an employee whose current role is being eliminated is qualified. Okay. The position is unpaid or only anticipated to perform work for a short duration or a season, hence the lifeguard. Or exigent circumstances exist that render a 14-day search unreasonable and justify hiring a temporary employee. The department head would have to make this case to the town manager, clearly demonstrating why the immediate needs of the department could not be met in the short term by shifting responsibilities while a full search is conducted. So there's her qualifications.
That's
So
helpful, Bernie. I was just gonna say that, like, I think what's sort of changing my mind on this is I wouldn't want an arbitrary legal requirement that we put in the charter to make someone who's like had their position eliminated and
Mhm.
has the skills to bump to another job or is able to bump to another job. I wouldn't want this to prevent them from doing that or slow down that process in any way, because obviously if their position's being eliminated, they're already probably pretty stressed. So I wouldn't want to make it harder on the town staff
Yeah.
themselves. So I guess that sort of makes me in favor of removing this.
So what would that look like?
Yeah, and Erica
what's the
has her hand
language?
up too.
Erica, yeah, go ahead.
Just I wanted to say here that there may be many different perspectives on this, but I wanted to bring out Collins also saying, in most cases, human resources policies should not be included in charter language. So what we're discussing is whether or not it should be in the charter, not whether it's good practice by human resources and hiring professionals and the needs of the town, and all of the contingencies that you just named, Bernie, could come into play. And we can't, the charter can't account for everything that could ever come up. But it is a sort of, if I'm reading what they're saying as the sort of best practice for what a charter should or shouldn't include, and they're saying the charter, sorry, I lost my place, but it's saying in most cases, human resources policy should not be included in charter language. And it also says subsection B could be removed from the charter and retained in the HR policies and procedures. So by removing it and potentially removing a roadblock or an obstacle to certain kinds of hiring practices, we're not actually mandating anything except removing a requirement.
Great. That's a good
point.
Thank you.
Andy, and then I have a clarifying question and a motion.
Yeah, I was just going to say that they were suggesting removing subsection B.
Yeah, my only clarifying question was, like, if we were to remove this and then it were to be an HR policy, that would allow the human resources director or the town manager, whoever, to remove this requirement in the case where it needs to be removed. Is that correct? Whereas here, it doesn't allow for that.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I'm going to make the motion that we remove the 14-day posting requirement. Do I have a second? From the charter.
Second.
Great.
Can I just offer a friendly amendment that we remove subsection B of section 6.2?
Yes, thank you. That clarifies things. Yes. Friendly amendment accepted. Does the seconder accept?
Yes.
Great.
And sorry, just for the record, Andy, that was subsection B of 4.2, 6.2.
6.2.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll move forward with voting. I'm an aye. Andy?
Aye.
Marcus?
Aye.
Raphael?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Bernie?
Yes.
Ken?
Aye.
And Meg?
Yes.
Thank you. Excellent. Thanks for your help on this, Athena.
Yeah.
Article 7, we addressed under 4, and we'll address a little bit more under 8, so we can move on. Section 8. This is our longer section. 9 doesn't have much. So this is some language that they drafted. We've heard a lot about public participation and transparency and communication in our comments. And I think that this is a really excellent way of catching that and adding it into the charter without having to sort of add something section by section by section in a cumbersome process, but rather makes it clear that we understand what the community's requests were around public participation and are aiming or intending that we can get those participations, that information out. So I'm going to make the motion that we adopt the Collins Center language under Article 8, Section 3.2 W in this red text, which folks can see. Do I have a second?
Second.
Great. Comments? Erica?
Yeah, I actually wanted to suggest, sort of as a counterpoint, like to table this temporarily. And the reason is that there are many of the suggestions that fall into the category of transparency and government responsiveness and public participation that have fallen into the bucket of what is going to be included in the addendum. And Meg and Andy and I were having some preliminary conversations about that, as we said we would. And I wonder if some of the outcome of those conversations will include a more specific suggestion that we can discuss as a group, as opposed to an up or down vote on this particular language, which, as I think, puts it in the hands of the town manager to be more responsible for communication strategy, which I don't think addresses a lot of the things that we might want to cover. So all I'm suggesting right now is to say, I don't know if we need to do the up or down vote on this one right now, but that it might benefit from some additional discussion elsewhere.
Andy?
I think we could approve this and for the preliminary to signal that this is an important area, and then we could see what we're putting into the addendum and further tailor it for the final. But I feel like this is a good add to the responsibility of the town manager. And maybe we want to add elsewhere for the council to have certain communication strategies, or for elected officials to have certain communication strategies, or whatever. But I kind of feel like we could approve this and we could continue to look at other ideas. And maybe if we find something that's better, we could replace it later. But I kind of feel like this would be a good addition.
I agree, Andy. Meg?
I agree with Andy. I just want to point out that we have one more meeting when we're planning to finalize our preliminary report, unless we add another meeting. So we need to be thinking, we don't want to put too many things, and we don't have, Andy and Erica and I don't have that addendum yet to show you, which I assume we'll have for the meeting a week from tomorrow. But
And
I
that's
agree,
for the
we can
final
always,
report. So
right. But I just think putting something in like this, not having something like this and inviting the public to comment, they're going to wonder, where is it? We can always change it.
I would agree, Meg. I think a lot of this is basically like, we're going to get the question at the preliminary report if we don't include this, is why is nothing in here about what you heard about public participation? And I want to have a more satisfying answer for folks if they ask that question. Any other comments before I call the vote? Okay.
Could you clarify again what the vote is?
Yes, the vote, yes vote adopts this language for 3.2, a no vote does not adopt this language for 3.2.
For now, and we can change
For
it.
now,
Yep.
yes, of
Whenever, however we do that in December, I have no clue. But anyway.
Yeah. I'll start with myself. I'm an I. Meg?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Marcus?
Yes.
Bernie?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Erica?
yes.
Raphael?
Yes.
Great. So now we will go down to signature collection for voter veto, 8.4. This is explaining that the current measures for voter veto is 14 days. We've had suggestions to lengthen this. the project team has seen a period of 10 to 21 days. It says it can also, too much time can delay measures. I'm going to make a motion, and my motion is that we amend section 8.4, simply the number of days, to amend that number of days from 14 to 21. Do I have a second?
Second.
Right. Any discussion?
Specifically, this is 8.4A, just the number of days to collect.
Yes, thank you. Yep. Okay. I'll move forward with voting. Myself, I'm an aye. Bernie?
Yes.
Andy? You want me to come back to you?
Sure.
Ken?
Yes.
Raphael?
Yes.
Meg?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Erica, did I already called on you, right?
No, but my vote is yes.
Okay, thank you. Andy?
I will be swayed by my colleagues. Yes.
Okay. Great.
Did everybody vote?
Mhm.
Yes, I believe so. Yep. 8.4, voter veto majority.
This one, I think, Julian, I think we talked to Pat, and I think they might have been confused by the question.
Yeah, they made a mistake here, I think. Partially because the language we sent them was not extremely clear.
I think,
Basically,
I think the suggestion was that I think the concern was for a council vote that requires a 2/3 majority. If a voter veto effort comes up, I think they were thinking that it would have to be confirmed by a 2/3 majority, and that's not the case.
correct.
So right now, it would be a majority vote of the public could overturn a 2/3 vote or any vote by the council. But I don't think they're addressing that. So I don't think they're. So currently, if a majority of the public thinks that raises the signatures and we have a vote of the public of the voters, and a majority of the voters say that was a bad decision, they can keep a measure from happening. So I don't know that there's any language suggested here that would change that. And I'm not sure what the language would be. So my sense is that we could leave it the way it is.
I feel like we can dispose of this. I'll make the motion that we leave the language as is here. I think it would become complicated, to say the least, to have a situation where the voters have to pass something in the same percentage as the council, because the percentage of 13 people does not line up with the percentage of however many thousands of people choose to vote on the issue. So, do I have a second?
Second.
Great. I'll move to voting if there's not other questions, comments. Myself, I'm an aye. Bernie?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yep.
Raphael?
Yes.
And Meg?
Yes.
Great. 8.5, ineligible measures.
Go team. We're getting there. Go, go, go.
Yes, we're getting close. I have opinions about this that I am aware many people will probably disagree with. I personally think that we should not have very many, if any, ineligible measures. I think a voter veto is a good thing, and the public should have as much ability to criticize as possible. That, in my mind, includes the budget, includes votes that are unanimous, etc. I think that is a good check and balance, a healthy check and balance. So I'm opposed to this, but I'll So I'm going to make the motion that we keep the language as is with this portion, and then I'll make a different motion when it comes to deleting.
Can
Do I have a
we,
second? Yes,
can we get a clarification? What measures require 10 votes? No, it's saying any measure that's passed by a supermajority would be ineligible.
correct. So any measure that is passed with more than 10 votes is ineligible.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry, what is your motion, Julia?
My motion is to not add this.
To not add this new language.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Leave the charter as is.
Not exactly because of because of a motion I'm going to make in 8.5.
Right, but right now, for this particular point, we're just
Yes.
leaving it as is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Great. Any discussion? Nope. Okay. I'll move to voting. Myself, I'm an aye. A yes means leave it as is. Andy,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
Raphael. You're muted.
Yes. Sorry.
No problem. Erica,
Yes.
Meg,
Yes.
and Bernie.
Yes.
Great. 8.5. They do not suggest deleting these measures. I personally still believe, I disagree with them. I think we should delete these measures. So I'm going to make the motion that we delete the ineligible measures as was originally recommended in our initial report. So do I have a second?
Could you explain this, Julian, a little bit better?
Yeah, of course.
More?
So
We don't have a second, but I mean, I'll second it so
Yeah.
we can discuss it. I
Okay.
second it.
great. But I'm happy to explain more. So basically, there is a list, I believe, A through E or A through J. It's a lengthy list of multiple things that the public cannot use the voter veto provision for. It includes memorial measures, sections of the budget that amount to less than 1% of the total budget. It includes a variety of other things. I don't have the charter right in front of me, but basically they're all areas that someone could not use the voter veto. And my argument is that to the greatest extent of the law, we should allow people to use the voter veto, even if that makes it harder to pass a budget or interferes with something. In my opinion, having a democratic check on any function of the government is a strong and important measure to allow people to have that check on the town council if they need to use it, irregardless of the issue and if it's inconvenient. Does that help answer your question, Meg?
Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would just, refer to their memo that basically says they don't recommend this approach. The list of measures ineligible for initiative and voter veto measures is customary in every charter. This list primarily includes emergency measures, appropriation measures that are legally or contractually mandated, personnel decisions, and other measures governed by laws related to elections and local government structures. There is a list A through K. It includes the town budget as a whole. It includes an emergency measure adopted in conformity with the charter. Votes for the temporary borrowing of money in anticipation of revenue. Appropriation for the payment of the town's debt or debt service. Appropriation of funds to implement a contract or collective bargaining agreement. Proceedings related to election, appointment, removal, discharge, employment, promotion, transfer, or demotion of employees. Proceedings repealing or rescinding a measure or part thereof which is protested by voter veto procedures. So that's saying that they can't, They can't relitigate something that has already been repealed by voter veto. Proceedings providing for the submission or referral of a matter to the voters at an election. So in some of these cases, it's actually saying you can't veto asking the voters what they think. In other cases, it's like the budget has been approved. It's July 1st. You can't veto it now. I think that this is fairly standard language, and it's to avoid chaos, basically, in terms of things that emergency measures and budgets that have to be implemented July 1st and things like that.
Bernie?
Erica's hand was up before mine. I believe.
Sorry, Erica, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with most of what Andy just outlined, and also just wanted to say that I think that the ineligible measures are specifically, well, they're specifically relating to voter veto and initiative. They're not relating to other kinds of petitions, protests, or requests, public comment, or any other sorts of feedback that the public might want to have on these actions. It seems like a voter veto is a sort of dramatic arrest of the kinds of, the kinds of actions that the council is taking, and excluding these very pretty narrowly drawn items. I don't think is excluding public democratic activity. I think it's possible to want to make it easy to allow for voter vetoes to happen and give people lots of time and ability to do that, and also to prescribe that certain actions or certain timing are excluded from what can be vetoed.
Bernie?
Yeah, if you want to completely trash the town's credit rating and make it even more difficult for contractors to bid on and do business on the Amherst jobs, then delete section 8.5. I mean, to say that you're going to repeal the town budget as a whole is basically going to say that you're willing to bankrupt the town. You're willing to trash the town's credit rating completely. The appropriation and payment for the town's debt or debt service. You voter veto, that only gets you tied up in court forever. These are nuts and bolts things that really have to happen to ensure that the town is behaving in a fiscally responsible way. So taking out 8.5 produces a huge vulnerability for the town. And we like to say Amherst, where only the H is silent. Everybody notices that, including the people who do business with the town. So if you're going to say that no matter what happens, we can repeal it, that's a real problem. And some of these things, they're refusing to implement a contract or a collective bargaining agreement. I mean, the Commonwealth can't even refuse to implement a collective bargaining agreement because there's language in the charter there's
Messages
that requires the state constitution that has been found in court that says basically once you have a contract, you have to honor. So this repealing this as a whole is, I mean, I'm not so sure if I think we could let go of memorial resolution. If in the distant future the council wants to honor my passing, I think people should be able to object to that. But for the moment, let's town be able to pay its bills, please.
Let's hope that's a very distant future, Bernie. Ken?
Bernie, all of your comments are well taken.
Yeah.
This town is crazy, but I don't think it's that crazy.
Great.
So
Can you please put that in the final report?
Quote,
He didn't
quote
mean
me.
it that way.
What's our crazy?
He didn't
quote?
mean it that way.
Does
I
that mean
veto that statement.
does that mean they wouldn't veto, or
I-
that we should not, or that we should not have this, not strike the language?
I don't think we should strike the language.
Okay. I will rest my case with democracy is messy and democracy is chaotic. And in my opinion, that even if in this small situation might not be a good thing, I think having a messy and chaotic democracy, generally speaking, is a good thing. So that is the rationale behind my argument. I'll probably lose my vote, and I will certainly entertain Ken's idea to put "we're crazy, not that crazy." Okay, so I will call the vote, and then probably have a vote after that. Myself,
You didn't get a second on your motion.
Meg
Yes,
seconded.
did
Just-
make it.
Okay.
Just for discussion.
Okay. Thanks.
So myself, I am an I. Ken,
Can you tell me what the I means,
Yes.
please?
an I means we would delete the ineligible measures, and a no means we would not. You want me to come back to you?
Come back to me. I'm still trying to like
No
process
problem. Meg?
I'm still processing it too.
Okay, no problem.
Bernie was persuasive, but
Great.
I'm a democracy. I'm a hardcore, extreme democracy person.
I'll-
So
I'll give folks 1 minute.
wait, we're going to waste a minute. We're going to be quiet for a minute. Okay,
Sorry.
start, Meg.
No. I guess let me see. I'm a yes. Bernie, you have your mind made up.
I'm an absolute no.
Um,
I mean, I
Raphael.
think we should pay our bills.
Raphael.
No.
Okay. Andy.
No.
Erica.
No.
I'm gonna come back to Ken.
No, please.
Okay,
Yes.
Meg.
I'm just torn. I guess
Okay.
I'll say yes, but
Okay.
hope it doesn't pass. No,
Don't do
no,
I'm a yes.
no, I should vote. I should,
my
yeah.
goodness.
I'm a yes.
You're a yes. Okay, great. Excellent.
3 to 5.
Hey, I convinced somebody.
Marcus is a no.
Oh,
Marcus
Marcus,
is a
thank
no.
you.
3 to 5.
Okay, great. So that vote fails 5 no, 3 in favor. I guess that would mean, does someone want to make a motion to keep this as remain to?
I don't think we need to, right? I mean,
Right.
No, you don't need
Reading
to.
it.
There's no change. Yeah.
No action. Yes. Recall provisions. If we had longer terms, this would make sense to me. But
Right,
we
it's
have 2-year terms, and we just reaffirmed that we're going to continue having 2-year terms.
Hmm.
So, in my mind, it doesn't make as much sense, given that when you're halfway through, you're really only giving people a recall time of like
3
A
minutes.
year to 6 months, 6 months to a year, yeah.
Yeah,
And by the time
exactly.
everything's gone through and you've then filled
Right.
up the process, you're really back at the next election anyway. So
Precisely.
what's the point? Yeah.
So I guess I'll seek a motion of what folks want to do with this.
A motion to what, Julian?
A motion to either create a
Oh,
recall
a
provision
motion.
or to keep it the same and not have a recall provision.
I move to keep it the same.
Okay, I will second. Any comments, discussion? Okay. Myself, I'm an I. Ken,
Excuse me.
great. Bless you.
Sorry.
Andy,
Aye.
Meg,
Aye.
Raphael,
Yes.
Bernie,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. We are on our last page, folks. Good job. General provisions. A review of boards and committees. the committee received feedback suggesting a 10-year review. So this would be an addition to Article 9. So it would go into 9.15 or whatever. And it would be an addition that in every year ending in 8, there is a review of all the town council's appointed boards and committees. I'm agnostic to this. I'm curious to hear what people have to say. Does anyone want to make a motion and discuss?
Do we
Yeah.
have to have a motion to discuss?
No.
I mean, I like the idea of review. I just don't know if it needs to be every 10 years, if it needs to be in the charter. But I mean, I do think that it would be good if there was a review of our committees and how they fit into the structure of our government. I just don't. Yeah, I'm kind of like, is this the way to do it? I mean, it would be good to call attention to it. Maybe it should be in the addendum where we say, there was interest in review of the committees, and we would encourage the council to
Yeah.
find a way to do so. But maybe it's not every 10 years. I don't know.
Eric,
It's a good idea.
Athena has her hand up.
Athena, go ahead.
So does Erica and Marcus.
Athena, you
sorry.
were first. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Um,
go for it.
I think you were first anyway. Yeah.
So many of the town committees are established and appointed. I mean, all the non-council committees are appointed by the town manager, but they're established and the charges are created and approved by the town manager. So this seems like a little odd that the town council would create a committee that would conduct a do a review of something that's under the town manager's purview. And the town manager, I mean, there are few situations in which the council has to vote on a town committee charge, and the council has in some cases established town committees. But for others, there's not necessarily council involvement. So it just seems really cumbersome to me to make this kind of official process when this is sort of our matter of course. Committees can review their own charges and make recommendations to the town manager on changes. That's happened recently. The Disability Access Advisory Committee recently requested a change to its own charge to become the Commission for Persons with Disabilities. There have been discussions with other town committees about changing their charges or changing their composition. The Human Rights Commission just presented to the council on Monday their committee was formed by bylaw, and so they have been working with the staff and the town attorney to make changes to the bylaw to change their charge. So in my opinion, this seems a little bit cumbersome and unnecessary.
Thank you, Athena. That's helpful. Erica, then
Sorry,
Marcus.
I lowered my hand. You can
Okay.
continue.
Great. Marcus, then Meg.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just kind of agreeing with Athena a little bit. But I think that there is a need, as a town as a whole, whether it's the council or the thing or the town manager, to look over, committees and things and see where they're going, where they are, and that sort of stuff. I think Andy's point to maybe adding this to the addendum, saying, hey, we heard about it, keeps it in that vein. Putting it in the charter, it makes it a bit too rigid for me. And, a 10-year time, why 10? Why not 5? Why not 15? You get into all of that sort of stuff. If we just say, hey, we do recommend this, I think I'm on TAC. But that's a committee that, is it, isn't it, is it, isn't it? That could have gone by the wayside years ago. So that sort of review is needed, but putting it in the charter is a bit too much. I think in the addendum, hey guys, look at this, figure it out, would be the best way forward.
I agree. Meg,
I basically agree with Marcus. I don't need to speak.
great.
But I do think we should mention it, and there are all sorts of ways of establishing a culture of self-evaluation that don't have to be mandated in the charter.
Yeah.
That we can, Andy and Eric and I can put somewhere in the addendum.
I'll make a motion to include this. Andy, sorry.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that I understand that individual committees can evaluate themselves, but I think that this is talking about more of a comprehensive look at the committee structure and whether we need all of them or what their roles are and how they connect with the council and the manager and so on. So, but I agree that we don't need to put it in the charter.
I am going to make the motion that we do not include this in the charter, but include it in our addendum. So a yes vote would support that, and a no vote would want to include it in the charter.
Second.
Great. Myself, I'm an I. Ken. Great. You're muted.
Sorry, I.
I saw you mouth I, but I don't think I'm allowed to. Meg,
Aye.
Bernie,
Yep.
Raphael,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
and Erica.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Marcus is a yes
Marcus,
too.
thank
Sorry,
you.
I was breaking
Thank
up
you.
a bit. I was
That's okay.
breaking up a bit. Is that unanimous?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Last thing here. Removal of appointed members. This we asked for other reasons besides absenteeism or felony conviction. They did not recommend adding additional reasons. I agree that additional reasons would be sort of arbitrary and could set some sort of issues, especially in Amherst. So I'm going to make the motion that we do not include this in our preliminary report.
Second.
Great. Any discussion? Nope. Okay. Myself. Oh, Bernie.
Real
sorry.
No,
quick.
we're
Yeah.
good. Let's go
Just,
for it.
just noting that felony convictions and absenteeism are two things you can sort of count. There's no
Right.
arguing about it. And
Right.
that's the, I think, the point
Well,
the that's the point the councilors make.
federally.
Well, except if you're the president. Anyway,
But I'll vote yes.
yes. Okay, I'm an I. Bernie, you're a yes. Raphael,
Yes.
Meg,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
and Erica.
Yes.
Excellent. It is 8:05, 8:08. We still have to review future agenda planning topics not anticipated, obviously, but we still have the Collins Center memo on the budget. We still have Andy's discussion of the section, I believe, 1.7 and majority vote. And we also have an outreach subcommittee report from Meg, and I don't believe we have a feedback subcommittee report. Is that correct, Andy?
That's right.
Great. Do folks feel I'm inclined to just continue and finish?
Mhm.
How are folks feeling about that?
Fine.
Not great, but
Julian,
I unfortunately have to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to leave too. I have a
Okay.
drive in the morning.
No problem.
Yeah. But Julian, I'll reach out about the writing in the email I said Sunday. I'll reach out then.
Okay, great.
I just have to be up early.
Yeah, of course. No, I understand. No problem
Bye,
at all.
folks. Good to
All
see
right.
you.
Have a
Bye,
nice night,
Raphael.
Raphael.
Holiday.
Good
Happy
night.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, bye.
I have to leave as well.
So
All
for
right.
those of us who have to leave, what is the plan? If
Well,
we
if
don't
we have a
continue
quorum-
now.
If we have a quorum after folks leave, we will discuss the outreach update, followed by our budget discussion, followed by Andy's discussion, followed by future agenda planning and topics not anticipated, and adjourn. I don't anticipate it would take a long, long time.
Do we have a quorum right now?
Yes, we do.
Because I only see 4 of us with my screen.
But I'm about to leave.
I'm about out the door. I
Okay.
was just going to say that if any votes happen, if he could just record the tallies
Absolutely.
and send them to me so I can.
No,
put
So-
I
it-
think what we're saying is we're losing quorum, and so I was
Yeah,
just
we
asking
might.
whether-
Could I say
Easily.
one thing?
Yes.
I'll send my outreach report by email because I
Great.
want,
Oh,
I mean,
great.
it's
Thank you.
a week from Monday. We're committed to having the preliminary report ready, and 3 weeks from tomorrow, the public forum. So we really need to get this out quickly. So I'll send you
Great.
the update of what's happened and what's going to happen, and invite you to do a little bit also.
Great. Just include everyone on that email. Thank you. And
But
I'm
don't
just gonna-
respond. God forbid we should deliberate by email.
and I was just gonna add that I will be working on the preliminary report with Raphael and Andy, and we hope to have that to you by December 1st.
And I
Great.
just want to
Thank you.
thank everybody
that'll
who's
happen
doing
in the
all
next
this.
4 days.
There are a lot of us doing work behind the scenes, and I
Yes.
really appreciate it, everybody. Some
Yeah.
of whom are
Thank you
no
very
longer
much.
on this call, but really, congratulations.
Yes,
Go,
thank you.
go team.
I agree. So seeing that is there any topics not anticipated or future agenda planning? No?
Just
No.
for when are we going to consider the thing that I sent around? I think it's fairly.
That's what I was going to discuss. Do we want to consider the budget and the thing that you sent around now?
I think the budget one's going to be a little bit more complicated, but we may lose. I think if we're losing our quorum, that's fine. But
Okay.
can we discuss these items before we have to produce our preliminary report?
I don't believe we have time because we would have to discuss that at the December 5th meeting when we approve the report.
But should we plan another meeting next week, like Wednesday or something? I hate to do that.
For 2 items, who has to leave?
Yep.
Can you raise your hand if you have to leave?
Oh, wait, my hand's up for, I gotta lower it there.
Okay.
Erica
I
has
see-
to leave, so we're done.
Erica, you have to leave as well?
Yes.
Great. So that would leave us with still a quorum of
No, it
exactly
wouldn't.
5. There would be me.
No,
Meg?
Ken is leaving. You
I'm
don't
leaving
have
as
to-
well.
Is that okay? So that would
Yep.
would that be a quorum or not?
No.
No,
No. No. Okay.
Now, we can continue to meet, but we can't take any votes.
Exactly.
We can't come to any agreement. So we could like say nice things like, well, gee, I read Andy's
Right.
memo
Right.
and I,
or what's your stuffing recipe?
Yeah. So I guess
I
in
read
the
Andy's
next,
memo and I think we should take it up in the next meeting in a positive way or something.
we will have.
The safest thing to do is to call another meeting.
Yeah,
Okay. When do we want that other meeting to happen?
well, it has to be Wednesday because
We
does
need to
Friday
get it
count?
posted.
Does Friday count in setting the 48 hours?
Town staff do not work on Friday.
So does that, but if somebody else posted it, all right, so
Like,
as soon
no
as
one
we
else
could do it
can
is,
post it.
Friday is not a holiday. The holiday is the 27th. So if but we could get a meeting together for Wednesday for the 3rd.
maybe like a short meeting.
Yeah, just
We could also just on the 5th discuss article.
On
We
the
could
4th.
discuss
The
Andy's
4th.
on the 4th. Thank you. We could discuss Andy's thing and the budget thing, and then just make the motion to include those in the preliminary report, and then approve the preliminary report without those, and I could include them retroactively and send that out. That's another option.
okay. That would work.
And we gave ourselves till Monday to get it out, exactly for this case we have to work over that weekend.
Correct.
I'm good with that.
Is that all right with folks? We'll just
Yep.
discuss it.
I
on-
think that would be far preferable to adding a meeting.
right. That's what I'm
Absolutely. God.
We're trying to make people's lives easier here. Enjoy the holidays.
There's nothing
Great.
like a good meeting,
Exactly. I'll make a motion to adjourn. with that plan in mind?
Second,
Second,
Second.
Great. Myself, I'm an I. Andy,
aye.
Bernie,
Yes.
Ken,
Aye.
Meg.
aye. And also to say, I'm going to read the email I send you about outreach for the public forum, please.
Great. Erica.
Yes.
Great. We are adjourned, and you all will see a report from me excluding those two items from me and Raphael, because Raphael is being extremely helpful as well, with Andy's review on December 1st.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
Athena.
Have a great night, everybody.
Happy
Thank you,
Thanksgiving.
Athena.
Have a good
Thanks.
Happy
holiday.
Thanksgiving.
Er-
Bye-bye.
Athena, thank you so much for sending that Zoom link. It's
You're welcome,
fantastic.
Meg.
Yes,
We're gonna-
and
we already have a
thank you
Zoom
for all
link
your
for the
advice
public-
on the meetings. It's great.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
And Athena sent the Zoom link for the public forum. So we actually can advertise how people can log on.
Excellent.
So great.
Great. Thank you.
Superb. Happy Thanksgiving, all. Bye-bye.
Bye.